Aloha, it's Lori Beth. I'm so excited to come to you from my bed today to share with you what bed schooling looks like. So what I've prepared for you is basically an entire day's worth of homeschool that I have set up in my bed here. Like this is it, just cozy pillows, blankets, cozy clothes, and just a relaxed attitude, a graceful attitude, a gracious attitude toward yourself and your kids. You could choose to do bed schooling every day if you really wanted to, or, just as a sometimes thing. And I think that's what most of us would choose to do bed schooling, for. Like if you have a headache coming on, or you're feeling under the weather, or just really tired, or you just want to relax, like you're starting to feel maybe a little uptight about homeschool and the to-do list and how to do it. A day of bed schooling or a lesson in bed really does help reset school and homeschooling for not only you, but your children as well. So I have prepared this for you. I have a list of everything that we need to get done today and that we can do in bed. So language arts, the word list, because I have some sight word kids. We're doing an Apple unit study. I'm a member of Pam Barnhill's awesome morning basket crew, and we follow along with her stuff. And so we have an Apple intensive going on this month, and we are so excited to dive into that more. I'll show you more. Math, art appreciation is on the list for today, and then also nature study as well. So let's just go through the list, and I'll show you everything that we do in bed, how we bed school. Number one, language arts. So we need to read the two stories that are required from our curriculum, Blossom and Root. And then there's also something in the student notebook for my daughters to do. So here is the book, Among the Meadow People. I have the two stories that we have to read marked. So while we're all cozy in bed, I can read this out loud, or they're available for free as audiobooks on the it's so hard to say, Liverbox app. It's really awesome. So I can read them, or if I don't feel like reading them out of this book, we can listen to them as audio stories. Totally counts either way, totally goes with the bed schooling vibe. So then she has to complete this worksheet, and she can do that. And sometimes when we're bed schooling, I will let them use like my special like erasable pens rather than using markers or crayons or things that I feel like could potentially get the bed very messy. I'll just be like, hey, so anyone want to use my purple erasable pen today? They usually jump at the chance because it feels very special, not something they always get to do. So then she can complete her work in this notebook in bed, no problem. So that is the first thing. Those are the two things that we would get done in bed, wouldn't take very much time. Word lists. I have whiteboard and notebook list. So in that same notebook I just showed you, there is a word list on the next page. So I can use this to review her word list that she needs to go over for this week. I can also make it even more fun by using our whiteboard. It's got her sight words on the back, which by the way, she only has 4 sight words a week because when it comes to reading, the curriculum that we use, and then my own personal philosophy is confidence over basically everything else when it comes to reading. So instead of giving her 20 words at a time, like that big long list, that's a slow unfolding, and I usually just focus on just a few sight words for her to work on so that she can get more confident, so that she feels motivated to pursue that list more. So just another random tip, but that's on the back, and then this is on the front. So we're working on OX words, and then we're using these magnet manipulatives right here, which look like this. We're using that in bed, and then they can just move these around, do different words. We can just have fun with it. It's just fun and quick, not very much to do. So then that's it. That's the word list, and those are the two things that we can do in bed. The Apple study, the poetry. This is what Pam's unit studies look like, her morning basket studies. September this month is apples, and today I would focus on the poetry. So there's a couple of poems inside of her book, and I don't know if it's a book so much as like her curriculum that she puts together. So I would just read these poems about apples, and then I have a couple of other books available, because usually when we do Pam's morning basket studies, my kids want to dive into other things too. So I have the farm anatomy book, and they have an entire like planting an orchard and apple page, which is pretty exciting and something we can look at and enjoy. And because I know my girls would want to go a little bit deeper and maybe hear one more poem, I have the Sing a Song of Seasons book. So you just turn to the day that it is today, which we are in September. And I just read this poem. Beautiful illustrations. I love bringing beauty into homeschool as much as possible, and Pam does that really well. All of Julia Rothman's books do that really well. The Sing a Song of Seasons book does that. And then that's it. Our apple study would be done. You know, and of course there's always discussion that happens around that too, but I could check that off the list after we do those things. Math, I have 3 kids at multiple math ages, and right now they are all very interested in counting to 100 and understanding things more. So I have the 100 math board from Treasures from Jennifer that we put together, and there's so many games that I could just make up in bed or go along with the kids' cues about what they want to do with this board. And it's very interesting what they do. So sometimes I just give them the freedom to make things up. Sometimes I make things up with this, and other times I follow math curricula using this as the manipulative for learning numbers 1 through 100, and that can look like skip counting, multiplication, addition, subtraction, all of that. So I just use this in bed. We just sit down together, do it. Will this spill in bed? Maybe. Then what do? We just pick it up. Spills are not a big deal. Another thing that I would do is play board games. So I've got a couple of math board games. Unlock It. So fun for little kids. So fun. Match up the keys to the numbers that are on the locks themselves. They love this. They would do this for an hour. It's awesome. And then I will also give them the choice between that and Count Your Chickens. We might do both. We might do one. We might do one later, you know, when Daddy gets home or something like that. It just depends. So I give them options for them to choose from. But board games, the hundreds board, math concepts that I have in my mind as the parent that I present to them through fun things like board games and then the board. So then math would be done, right? That's off the list. So now we only have 2 more things to do. So I know that sometimes homeschool can seem like a super long list, but it's amazing how quickly you can actually get through all of it. Art appreciation, we are studying. Well, I'll tell you something about homeschool. I don't know how to pronounce this name, so we always learn things too as parents, right? So it's Steichen. I don't know. We're studying his sunflower painting. So I have an iPad out. Oh, I'm not sure the sun's going to let you see it. And we're studying his sunflower painting because we are studying math as it shows up in art. So exploring math and art from Blossom and Root is what we're doing. So art appreciation will actually have math in there too. And I know parents who print these out, laminate them, have entire binders of them. I'm just not that gal, especially when it comes to bed schooling days. So iPad for the win. We look at it, we talk about it. I follow the prompts that are in here. Done. Art appreciation. It's awesome. And they really do learn so much from it, and so do I, which is really cool. So the last thing we do is our nature studies, because we have a very nature-based curriculum that we follow on purpose, because connection to nature feels really important to me and an understanding of it as well. Today's prompt from Blossom and Root is feather identification. So I know I have a book by this same author about feathers, and I can't find it. And that's okay. That's not a failure for the feather identification lesson. I am actually going to read this to my kids and let them know that I am looking for a feather book by this same author if they see it. And then we will also look to see which of these nest builders have feathers as well. Then we'll talk about whether you have to have feathers to build nests and what that means and all of that. And then it will also prompt me to be looking for the feather book I'm looking for, and them too if they see it. And then if they're the one who finds it, oh my gosh, the joy on their faces. So awesome. But just because I have one book in mind and I can't find it doesn't mean that that's a failure, right? I have other books. Another Julia Rothman book. This is Nature Anatomy. She has a part on feathers here. Amazing. This will do as well for the feather study. Then I also have a couple of Hawaii specific bird resources so that we can look at the different kinds of feathers, the different sizes of birds, things like that. Take the feather identification to a whole new level. And then I also have just the lovely, awesome finds at Costco, you know, like this bird book right here. This will do for our feather identification nature study as well. All of this can be done in bed. All of it can just be piled to the side. Right now I have it spread out all over the bed so I can show it to you, but really, truly, all of these lessons, there's so much learning that can be done, but in a really relaxed way. I hope that helps. I hope it shows you that you can take your to-do lists, make them fun, make them beautiful, make them engaging, and really, truly, the most important thing at the end of the day is your connection with your children and feeling good about this journey that you're on. And a good day of bed schooling can really hit the reset button and help you find that connection too. So I hope it helps. I wish you a wonderful day, and I cannot wait to connect with you more in Homeschool Explained, in the online community, and just in general over at Instagram at LoriBethAldridge.com, at LoriBethAldridge.